right. So, did you go straight into college, or did you take a break in between and started, like, you went straight to college after high school?
I have never been to college a day in
What?
my life. hmm
What?
For some
I would never
reason,
thought it.
it was a
Oh, I'm
little
sorry. I
rumor
would
going
never
around that
thought.
I went to Clark, girl. I guess I was hanging out with all the Clark chicks, and they just inserted me in their stories. Like, yeah, I
I
remember.
just
And I'm
knew
like,
you were college. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you was college. Really?
I am not a college graduate, my darling, but
Okay.
I did go to Chattahoochee Tech.
Okay.
I went to Chattahoochee Tech when I was in high school. They had a program,
Okay.
and I did early childhood education part one and part two, so I could be a teacher. One of my
Wow. Oh,
favorite movies
really?
growing up was Kindergarten Cop,
Oh, really?
and I wanted to be a kindergarten teacher so bad.
Oh, my
So I
goodness.
did go to Chattahoochee Tech, but I did not go to college. I ain't even heard of it.
Wow. Oh, that's even more
Yes.
impressive. Oh, definitely got to do a deep dive. Oh, wow.
Ah,
That is really, okay. That's really
yeah.
fascinating. Okay. Because
I love it
I
because
just assumed, yeah.
I'm always doing presentations with people
Mm.
that go to these stellar colleges or
That goes to show you right
and
there. Mhm.
I'm the one like doing a presentation and they taking notes and listening and I just love that.
Yes, of course. But did you go to any, like,
Yeah.
certification classes or anything like that? Like any, trade schools and anything vocational? No? So,
No, I'm a
oh,
sponge. So what I do is if I see somebody or if I'm working with somebody, I'm working a project with somebody, I see they have something that I don't have, I tell them, "Hey, how can I help you? How can I learn from you?" Like
mm,
you don't have to pay me. Yeah, like even now, if there's something that I'm interested in, it could even be a hobby. I want to shadow you and I just want to
mm,
learn because I enjoy, soaking up that information is, and I'm a Libra too, so we love like information and research. So I think a lot of my success came from me just saying, "Yo, you are a boss. I love what you're doing. You fly. I admire you. Can you be my
like, how did you
mentor?"
get
Oh, I
there?
had so
Mhm.
many mentors growing up. Like,
Oh,
can you mentor me? Can I shadow you? You don't have to pay me. And one thing about people in certain situations, they will find a way to pay you. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
If they rock with you, you know. So I've always been that person that was like, I always create an opportunity. I don't wait for nobody to ask me for nothing. I'll jump in
Wow.
there like, hey, what do you guys have going on? I like this group. Like if I see a group of people that just is vibrant and look good and smell good. And I say, oh, I belong in this group. Oh, okay, hold on. What y'all got going on? What y'all do? And that's why I like to say I'm the queen of networking because I
Yeah,
realize
yes,
you're one per.
yes. So how
Yeah,
did it
hey, you're
start for
one
you,
person
Pat?
away from your
Oh,
life changing.
yeah, no, you're right about that. Because
One person
you're
away.
living proof of that. Absolutely. But I
Yeah.
wanna ask you, Passionate, so when you said that you started to, become acquainted with all these people that you aspire to be, so now, right after high school, so let me go back to high school. After high school, where did it start for you? Like, where did you go from there?
So I actually graduated high school early. When I saw my mom working a lot of jobs, she couldn't afford to, give me the stuff that I wanted. I got everything that I needed, but I told you I had a grill. Like, and she
Mm,
couldn't tell me no because it was my money. So I
mhm.
had a hustle. I was braiding everybody in the city hair to where my hairstylist was making a newspaper. So I would do like dollar signs in their hair swirls, write their names
Wow.
with braids and stuff. Um, but when I graduated early, I got a position as a security concierge. So I was
Mm.
at a desk for a corporate building. It was called Russell Athletic. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but it was like
Mm,
the biggest sports apparel company in the world. And I just used to sit at the desk and tell
mhm.
everybody, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, have a good night. It was
Okay.
very robotic. Didn't take much of nothing. Then I had to do uh, what is it called? Car patrol or whatever, where I had to go and put the stickers on people's cars and stuff. I had a little flashlight, girl, but so I just buried myself in that because I was getting paid like maybe $13 or $14 an hour back then,
Wow,
and I
back then,
remember
that's a
my
lot.
mom. back then my mom was
Yeah.
had jobs where she was getting paid $8, $9, so I thought I had it going on.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Ooh, I got a good job, and I'm not going to college. Who's gonna pay for my college?" I was just worried about
Mm.
the struggle. I can't struggle another year. Let me get a job, you know. And I wanted to work, and I just love working because I like the money part, and I like just buying
Mm.
whatever I wanted. So I got the job, and a model called out. The photographer's name was Mike. Mike came down and he was desperate. He was like, Pash, I need you upstairs. I need a model. Model didn't show up. They called
Mm.
out or whatever. And I was like, I got on this, security outfit. And he was like, come on, come on. So I went up there and I snuck up there and I took the pictures or whatever. And the pictures ended up going national. I had a national
Wow,
campaign.
really?
I was in
With
Sports
who?
Authority. I was in Hibbett Sports. And that's when I didn't know. Like I just went and I did him a favor, but I had a $20,000 check.
What?
$20,000 check. He asked me for my information for me to get paid. And I said, "Oh, I get paid too," because I got all this free clothes and stuff. And I got a
Wow.
$20,000 check. And
What did you
that's
do
when
with
I was
it?
like,
You remember what you did with
uh,
it?
I don't know what I did with it. I feel like I like paid my bills up and just bought all kind of stuff. Just I didn't tell
Right.
nobody though, because I thought that was a lie. I know I didn't tell nobody. Nobody knew that till now. So I just paid everything up, and I just, because I didn't really understand credit, so I like tore my credit up. So
Oh,
at that
right,
point, I just
right.
got a large lump sum of money at once, and I just was like, it opened me up. It was like, girl, this is what you need to be doing. You got paid to take pictures,
Pictures,
and you get
right.
to see yourself when in these stores, and it was crazy. Like my mom didn't even believe it. Every time I get a big modeling gig, my mom's like, "That's not you." I'm like,
Like, that ain't my daughter. What you mean?
"Who is it, mine? Who is that?" You know. So
That's funny.
that's when it was on and popping. And I got in trouble for that. My boss was mad, but then he
Oh, you
couldn't get
got
mad
caught?
because he was like, well, yeah, the pictures were everywhere.
Oh, right, right.
I made the
I guess that's
campaign. Yeah.
that okay, that you got in some,
Yeah.
like, good trouble in a way, right? I mean, how
No,
so what did you
I just got written up. I just got
and
written
got
up. But
written
what
up?
happened was I started modeling, and it just kind of took over my schedule, and I
Mm,
enjoyed it. I never had a full face of makeup. I never had lashes, and just to sit there and let people
mhm,
put makeup on you, do your hair, and like I was known for my big curly hair. So I
mhm.
had got big in like the hair care world. It was weird. I was like the number one go-to girl. And I
Wow.
was doing a lot of hair stuff. And till
So a
this
lot of hair
day,
shows? Yeah.
girl, I was listening
Y
them hair commercials, everything. And
Wow.
even now I have the number one hair care, it's a growth oil by Mega Growth. I have the number one product in their line. It's $1 billion company. And till this day,
Wow. Okay,
same
okay.
thing. They did a test shoot and I ended up being on 5 different products
That's
everywhere,
amazing. Wow.
global. Till this
This is
moment,
this
it's called
amazing.
growth oil. And they owe me some money. So I'm definitely, because my contract was for 5 years. It's been 16 years. So I'm
Oh,
coming after them. But anyway,
excuse me, passionate. I got bills. So can you
me
tell me,
too.
like I want,
Me too.
I'm gonna start like Martin now. How do I get to the yams? I want to get to the,
Baby, listen. I just need me a good old lawyer. If you're a lawyer, please reach out to me. If you do IP, please, because I need some help. Okay.
oh my
They
God, sister,
tried to buy me out. They tried
can
to
you
send
move
me
the
80
sister?
grand.
Like, how can a sister be
No,
down?
for real.
Like, how the sister
I
can be?
knew
How can
I
a sister
had
be
something
down?
when they was trying to pay me off like 80,000, and I was like, if they trying to pay me 80,000,
That-
something's
right?
going
Yeah,
on here.
something.
Let me
Yeah,
just
yeah,
yeah. So that's
absolutely.
kind of what's going on. But yeah, so I
Yeah.
started modeling. I was doing promotional modeling. I was modeling for all these liquor brands, and I just kind of smothered
Wow. So it
myself
just
in my work.
oh, so it just took off. Yeah. So
Oh
college
yeah,
was like college was in the like in the rear
it was
view.
Craigslist. You remember
Yeah.
Craigslist?
Yes.
All
Mm-hmm.
my work was off of Craigslist.
Really? Like all your
I would
modeling
work
jobs?
all day.
Like what the
All my
modeling
modeling
jobs?
gigs came. All my
Wow.
modeling stuff was on Craigslist. Yep, I love Craigslist, and it
So
turned into like this
how were
little.
you able to filter out the ones that you can really trust? Like the ads that you could trust?
I just went.
That's a
I just went
risk.
to every audition. I never had any fear. You gotta
Mhm.
understand, all the scam stuff just started happening. You know, back then it wasn't scam. It wasn't unsafe. It wasn't. It was a place
No,
like
yes it was.
LinkedIn.
Yes it was.
Well, I never,
Yeah.
I just would read the ad. I would submit my pictures, then I would get,
Yeah.
the information to do the audition or whatever. But I never had fear. I never thought that way. I
Mm.
never knew it was a dangerous world. I never knew I had
Yes.
to be
Mhm.
careful or
Mhm.
cautious. I just didn't,
Right. You
I was
just went
grateful
for
for
it.
the opportunity that
Mhm.
they wanted me to audition. So I was like, I got to go knock them out.
Right. Did you do any acting roles?
Oh my God. Yes, I did. And it's crazy
What? Which
because
one?
girl, I was on Single Ladies. I was on girl all Tyler Perry stuff at the beginning. I was like features too. I can't even think about it right now. It was I'm trying to think of something that you would know. Girl, I did music videos. I did all kind of
Okay.
stuff.
Wow,
I did all
that
kind
is
of
amazing.
stuff.
That is
Mhm.
amazing. And so,
Yeah.
with those experiences, modeling, video extra, like acting roles,
Mhm.
how did you balance that between just being on the grind and just making sure you maintain your presence in in the industry, but also balancing your social life? Like, did you have fun? Did you do
No.
things? You
No,
know?
I started having fun in my 30s. I didn't have a
No.
social life. I
Hmm.
What was fun to me was auditioning, getting the roles, and getting a check. It never was
Understandable.
enough. Like it
Hmm.
was just
Hmm.
enough for the rent. Like sometimes I didn't even have furniture.
Mm,
You know, I think for me, when it got fun is when I stepped out from in front of the camera and got behind the camera.
got it.
And that's when I started making money and starting to realize like I'm creative or oh my God, that strategy worked. Like, how do I know this stuff? It's just a natural thing, like
Yeah. So you okay? You mentioned that. So how did you have any like actual jobs in between, like regular jobs in between? Because you had to have health benefits. You had to have,
never
like, how did you make
government assistance.
what happened? Hey, okay, I'm back.
I think we
I don't know
froze a
what
little
just
bit.
happened, huh?
I was on government assistance just like the rest of the world.
Okay,
Okay, she had Medicaid and she had food stamps.
yes, okay. God, I missed that.
Mhm.
Oh God.
Girl, it's
You get the most coverage. You get the most. I mean,
no, not no more though. Not no more. No,
right,
they
right.
don't even get. Yeah,
Yeah.
not back in the day. Yes,
Yes, yes.
back in the day.
Mhm.
Yes, but like no, it's you might as well get your own insurance now. I'm listening to
Yeah,
people that has that, and
yeah,
all what is it, and better or I think they took away Obamacare. So it's
yes.
honestly you'll
Eh,
find a cheaper plan being an independent contractor. So
mm.
mhm.
Really? So the
Yeah.
private plans are cheaper, you think? Private
I'm
insurance?
I'm not sure. I think that it just depends on the person in the situation. As far as me and my family, my daughter's on her dad's insurance. My son's on his dad's insurance, and me, I just pay out of pocket as an entrepreneur. A small business owner. So,
Okay.
but
That
I'm
helps. Okay.
hearing, yeah, I'm hearing that it just doesn't cover nothing. They're pulling your teeth out. They're
Mm-mm.
not even trying to save it. They don't even do crowns and stuff like that no more. They're pulling your
Right,
teeth out.
right.
That's why a lot of
Mm.
people have teeth missing on the sides. It's,
And
it's
that's
just
on the
different.
side, yep. Mhm.
Yeah, times is different. Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but so let me ask you, passionate. So you getting you like I said, you planting your feet in this thing. So now when
Yeah.
was what was that groundbreaking big break for you? Like when you knew that okay, it was up from there. When did that happen for you?
I applied for a job I knew I wasn't qualified for, but I act like I was.
Okay. Okay, you're not the only one.
um, I had started to do resumes for people, and they would give me
Oh,
$25.
okay.
And one day I said I could do this job, but then it was like you gotta have this amount of experience, gotta have this amount of experience, and I was like, I didn't shadowed enough people. I'm a lie and say I did, which I did. It just wasn't my title. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So I
right.
lied about my title, but when I did that, I didn't think they was gonna call me back. And when they did, I told you I always loved to audition. I love the feeling of reward. I love the feeling of victory. Like I love a
Mm,
challenge.
mm-hmm.
And I love knowing that multiple people did the same thing that I did and they chose me. I love it. It's the
Mm,
best feeling in the world. And
yes.
so when I got the job, I just immediately knew, okay, I got a year to impress these people. So whatever the goals or the numbers were, I always wanted to double them. I've always wanted to,
Mm,
even now with my clients. If my clients say, hey, I want to make $80,000 a month, I say, okay, that's a good goal. But in my head, I push 100,000, because I always want to over accelerate. You know what I'm saying? Especially being a marketing agency. I mean, yeah, I would love if I hired somebody and if I said, hey, I want to make 50 grand and I make 100 grand. Oh, I'm rocking with them. You know what I'm saying? So,
okay, okay.
um, I've always been that way. I've always went the extra mile.
Yeah. So what it start like? So you saying that it started off with you doing their resumes, and then you said that you lied about your experience, but it wasn't. You just kind of maneuvered a little bit. It's not. It
Well, what
wasn't
I
like you
lied
didn't
about,
know. You
I'll,
know.
I'll, one thing about me, I'll never sign up for something I can't do.
Right. That's what I'm
Um,
saying. So it wasn't really a lie. It's just that you didn't
it
own
was,
it
it
yet.
was definitely,
Yeah.
it definitely
Yeah.
was a lie because I
But
lied
in it,
about the title and the
but right. But
experience.
it's your
Yeah,
capability.
yeah.
Your capability
Right.
was there. So so it
But you
kind of
also got to
kicked in the
understand
door.
too, um, because I was so good at like modeling and promotional modeling, they didn't want me to have a management role because I was pretty. So
Mm,
they're like, oh, she's smart, but she's prettier than she is smart. We really need her here. We need her out there in the field,
mm,
pushing drinks, selling promos because I was a promo model. I worked for
okay.
everybody, Ciroc, Remy, Cavassier. I started off as a promotional model, you know. And I got paid $45 an hour, so I thought it was cool until I found out those
Mm.
people getting paid 97,000 and they ain't doing shit, nothing. You know what I'm saying? I was like, wait, hold on, huh?
Yeah. And what were
I
they doing?
scheduling, sell-ins, nothings, paperwork. I mean, I said, ooh,
Okay.
I want in on that. I want in on that. This lady making all this
Yeah.
money
Right.
and she ain't even leaving her house. I'm the one leaving the house, and nah, I want that. I want to do that. So I just threw myself out there, and they didn't even know till now.
You said till now. So so you just your experience, and you just have you wear many hats, and you were able to, I mean, even at your ripe age, you just was able
Mhm.
to dive into so many different roles, so many different things. So
Yeah.
what particular what particular role did you have that catapulted you, that you said, okay? I mean, I know,
Mhm.
like I said, there's many. I mean, there's many that there are multiple. Yeah, you're multi-layered. But
Yeah. Yeah.
but what
Yeah.
was that
Yeah.
one particular role, that one particular thing that the main source of your income, like the main source of your
Mhm.
career, the main source of
I think
your
I think what
triumph,
highlighted me and brought me to a different level as an executive was marketing strategies
marketing
and
strategy? Okay.
creating programming. And it's a lot behind the scenes that people don't see from these brands. And I had to create the brand experience or the program or the sampling program activations or whatever, whatnot. And I never knew if the strategy would work or not. I always wanted to try it. But one thing about me is I've always been good at meetings and negotiations and closing deals. And I do a lot of research. And if 1 plus 1 is 2, then you can't tell me it's something else.
Right.
And a lot of stuff is common sense. but it ain't so common, right? I know. Even in business, though, if it makes sense, people be like, "Well, that makes sense," and they don't go back and try to research and hey, no, they're like, "Wow, she came up with this great idea that makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. She is who she is." I've never had nobody question or second guess me or what I said.
Mm.
Thank
So let me
God,
ask you,
child.
so who are some of your you said you had a lot of mentors, but who are some of your like some of the mentors that really like did it for you? Like what are some of the who are some of those mentors?
A lot of the mentors. So I ended up moving to Miami. I got it was to I was so good at what I was doing. I was traveling. I was fixing other markets.
Mm,
It just took one person to say, "This girl in Atlanta, her numbers are higher. Why? What is she doing?" I'm not following the protocol. I'm creating my own flyers. I'm creating my own table tents. I'd be doing extra stuff. I might. So I come from the liquor space, right? We might have a activation at a club, and I might tell the bartenders, "Hey, whoever sells the most Ciroc, I'm gonna give y'all $50.
mm,
You're gonna get a $50 gift card." That's something that's coming from me, not my company.
right,
But
right.
now I have my team of models that's pushing a product. Now the DJ want in on it. The DJ talking on the mic, go go. Then the bartenders are now pushing it. So I figure out ways to make strategy successful.
Wow, that's
So they
genius.
was trying to figure out how Atlanta is not our top market, but it's doing top numbers. So they was
Mm,
asking me, "What are you doing?" And I had to tell them, like, "My girls don't wear that. No, those
mm,
dresses ain't it. I bought them out of my money." You see what I'm saying? So then that's when it was like, "You're not supposed to do that, but come over here.
right.
Let's leave you from this role, put you in this role, and now do this for everybody." So it just took one person to be like, "Hold on, what is this person doing?"
Mm,
Because I don't talk much. I just kind of do. So they didn't really know. I just be on a conference calls and I just be listening and, okay, cool. And then I still kind of, I've always did what I want. Always. That's
yeah.
not what you should do, though, people. It's actually not cool to do that, but it works for me.
Because I mean, well, right now, because I mean, because you're your own, you're the boss. So I mean, so you kind of have that ability to go
Well,
your own
also,
way.
well,
Yeah,
no, because every boss has a boss. Even though I have my own agency, but my clients are my boss. Because at the end of the
true,
day, if you hire
true.
me and I tell you, "Hey, here's the strategy for you. We're gonna do this," and you say, "No, we're not. I don't like that."
Mm,
Okay, well, what you want to do?
yeah.
Everybody got a
Okay.
boss, and guess what? The owner of that company, the boss is his customers.
True. True.
So
'Cause
you
a
see what
lot of
I'm
people don't
saying?
understand that. A lot of people don't understand that because and I'm glad we're getting into this because a lot of people who are entrepreneurs and self-employed, they don't really get into the nitty-gritty of how they
Yeah,
got there. They don't get
yeah.
into like you meant, like you got into the how you grind, you got into your grind, I mean, you humbled yourself enough to seek guidance from people and
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, and
always.
that's not and we didn't talk about the government assistance and all the sleepless nights that you have to have, working for free and not really being able to get much gain until
I worked for
several
free for
years.
one
Like they don't
year.
it takes so much time to
Yeah,
gain
yeah. Yeah, I worked for
when you're
free for one
self-employed.
year, and I
Hmm.
remember I was around Ludacris and them, and they always telling me like, "You can't do that for one year. You can work for free for one time or two time, but at some point you have to set boundaries and say, all right, I
Hmm.
can't do it. Find somebody else." And I didn't know because I was like, when is this gonna? When do I make money from this?
Like when right when it's gonna come, right.
Because I was always around successful people or dope people, and I would always hear those conversations. And I just remembered they were saying, "You set those boundaries, and if they want you, they're gonna call you." And I started testing that, and I started saying, "Hey, look, I don't, I get paid $45 an hour with a 2 hour minimum. I can't get dressed, do my hair, my makeup."
Mm-hmm.
get in my car with the gas, pay for parking. You know what I'm saying? It was just a lot that it took
Yep.
for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though I was working, let's say somebody, it's hard being a model, but at that time they might say, oh, it's $50. Hell, it took me $50 to get dressed and put on my makeup and
Yes.
park
Yes.
and put the gas and you know what I'm saying. So when you set those business boundaries,
Yes.
man, it just changed. Even now, as a business owner,
Yeah.
everybody else
So
going up. It's inflation, so I guess I could
yes.
go up. Right now is a great time if you're a business owner to go up. Why? Because everything else went up. So if the client say, well, why is it so much? Because just last year, okay, inflation, we all know what
Mm,
that is.
yes.
The stuff that I was paying this for done went up, so now I got to go up to
Mm-hmm.
cover that cost, you know.
Yes.
And then
Yeah,
people's
yeah,
like,
the
that
offset. Oh, exactly. Of course.
that makes
Yeah, I
sense.
mean, that's a
Hmm.
given. That's a given. But passionate. I want to can you tell me um because I know like starting a business is like so much to it, but can you give us some cliff notes on the steps you took to build your business? Oh, you good?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, are you good? You ready? Are you good?
Yeah, I'm fine. I just gotta head home and take my kids the food I bought them. I had pulled over. I had pulled
Oh,
over and been sitting in the garage. Um, so rephrase that question for me.
see now I'm gonna worry about your safety now. You
Oh,
talking and
baby, one thing
driving.
about it, I'm not even gonna look at you, but I can hear
Okay.
and I can talk.
Yes.
So
Yeah, do yeah,
we
please.
gonna.
Focus on the road.
I love doing this because I wrote a book for marketing because I realize there's so many people that give up on their dreams because they don't have the information.
Mhm.
And you know, in the Bible it says you shouldn't start. You always start with a vision. Don't worry about the who, what, when, where, how much it costs, and everything else you attract to you. So somebody taught me, or I learned through experience. So when people ask me questions, I just love to help. Like I love to see people flourish. You know what I mean?
Okay. How did that come about? Like what are the steps that you took to build your own to start your own business? Like what was your own? Yeah, what was your approach to it?
Take y'all off of here. So the way I got into marketing and branding is it's a few ways. But this is what changed the game. I went in to a job interview at Gladys Knight's Chicken and Waffles,
Mhm.
and the owner, well, one of the owners, his name is Shanga, which was Gladys's
Got her
son.
son. Mhm.
I went in there. I was just trying to waitress. I'm very good at taking care of, nurturing, and I figured that around this time, waitresses and bottle services was making way more money than getting paid hourly. So I was like, oh, I want to try that. So when I went into the interview, I told you I'd be taking over interviews, right? I said, you know how to put me in my tracks. Okay. One thing about it, I know how to bow down when I need to. But I took over the interview with him.
That's fine.
And as we were sitting there and he was interviewing me, I started asking him questions because I just thought it was amazing that he was Gladys Knight's son. I'm just kind of like, so how did you grow up? Like, how is it like your mama being Gladys Knight? Like, so did you ever have like hard times? Like, and it just turned into like a powwow.
Okay.
And so while he was sitting there interviewing me, he was like, you want something? You want, and I was ordering food. And then I started what was going on in the restaurant. I started server handing me my food or how, things. And so he was like, you know what? I don't want you to be a waitress. I want you to be a food critic. So basically, I was like a secret shopper, and I had
Okay.
to give him reports. I had to see him eat and write a report, good or bad, whatever, like a literal thorough report from when I walked in. Was it clean? Was it? And how was my food? Did it come out on time? And this was before they implemented surveys. And that's when I knew I had something. And I realized I wasn't a food critic or, you know, I was more of a consultant,
Okay.
and that's where it started. Mhm.
That's where it started. And where did you
Yep.
start from? Like, did you have a home office or like where were you situated?
Um. Well, just kind of one thing about Atlanta that I love is if say like you for instance, if I say, "Oh girl, I like your hair. Who do your hair?" and you say, "Oh, my homegirl Stacy does it." I'm like, "Give me her number." It's that easy. If you're edified right, if you do a good job, referral based business is always the businesses that's going to be successful. That's why
Right.
you always want to do a good job from every angle, from the customer experience to the service that you're providing. You know, you always want repeat customers and you always want a referral based business.
Yes.
You know. So I didn't have an office or anything like that. It was again, it was more like a hobby that turned into like, whoa, I'm like I'm like on everybody wish list, like everybody just the strategies I was coming with was working, but I didn't want everybody to have the same strategy either. So I was literally giving people different strategies, but they all were working. And honestly, it came from my intuition. Like God would tell me, I would ask God. I always would bring God into my business because I come from a praying mother. And I'll
Yes.
bring God into my business. I would ask Him to show me because I didn't know what I was doing. It became a habit. God, show me how to make this business pop. God, I invite you as my business partner. God, I invite you as my counselor, as my manager. Show me who to hire. Like, I really, at a very young age, was just always like super spiritual. And He would show me.
All right.
And people would be like, how did you know that was going to work? Or, like, how? And I'd be like, God, and they just be laughing. But I'd be dead serious, like, what?
Right, right. Like, serious, but joking at the same time. Yeah. Yeah, but I
I never
mean,
was joking. They probably thought I was, but I always knew.
yeah, right.
No, I can't take no credit. Like I would ask and I would get their information, and it's so funny because he would tell me who to hire, and they would be the perfect person, to partner with or whatever the situation was.
Okay, so when was a time where your business took a turn, because like you said about inflation, and you had the panorama, and all the different crisis that happens that affects businesses. How did you overcome those things? What is the some of the steps that you can give to some of the people in the audience, how you're able to triumph over those things?
I think my toughest time is COVID. Like everybody, it was an unfamiliar territory. It was an unfamiliar time. We didn't know what to do. We didn't know how long the lockdowns would last. And the lockdowns, honestly, we low key still kind of locked down. A lot of us never reverted back. And I think that it's just a historical. And, with me being a marketing person, I was always the first to go. They're not going to fire the assistant before they fire the marketing person, you know.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I had to get creative. I got creative and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to teach people how to make money during COVID. And basically, it was moving their business to the digital world because everything became digital right during
Yes.
COVID, right? So, for example, if I had a restaurant client, they would think, oh, my business, I got to shut the restaurant down. I'm like, nah. One thing about it is we're quarantined, right? Put your business on Uber Eats, Postmates, and Grubhub. And they started making more money than they were making with the restaurant,
Hmm.
having actual, consumers coming in. And I realized how easy that was. So then I started to do it with hairstyling. I'm like, you know what? You can monetize on social media. Why don't you do hairstyles? Because everybody started doing their own hair, but they need a tutorial,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So I just was showing people how to move their business into a virtual space, which was online digital marketing and sales. Um, and I think that we don't really know what's going on in the world, and we have to accept and receive pivoting. and just being prepared and accepting what's ahead, good or bad, you know, and moving with those times.
Yeah, so I mean, and obviously it worked. I mean, and you so you still remain steadfast in your journey. So I mean, congrats to you on that one. So
Oh, thank you.
yeah, sure. So I just put up this book here that I want us to talk about. And so how did this come about? The Law of Marketing and Branding, Do's and Don'ts Simplified, the ultimate hand guide, learn, grow, succeed, tips, secrets, and information to take your brand to the next levels of success. So I mean, there's a lot to unpack here. Yeah, so how did this
You
come
know what?
about?
It is, but it's super organized. You know,
Yes,
you can't do nothing without strategy.
absolutely.
Strategy and structure will take you far in life, personal and business, with your relationships, friendships, situationships, relationships with your kids, you know, your work friends. The book came about. I do a lot of consulting work, and it had became to the point where me and my business partner, we had got hired to bring the black dollar. Um, a lot of these companies want the African American community in their business because our dollar is very valuable, right? We control the currency. So I was doing a lot of speaking engagements, and I would notice after the conferences or whatever, I would be there for hours just talking to people that needed help, that needed strategy and listening, and and I just knew how to fix every problem. It was crazy, and a lot of them start saying, "Wow, this is a lot of information you unpacked. Do you have a book?"
Mhm. Mhm.
And I mean, like, you could touch so many more people if you actually had something that they could touch and go back and
Yes.
reference. So during COVID, I started a publishing company where I did ghostwriting. And
Wow.
I told you, I was teaching people how to make money as coaches because now everybody was watching and learning, right? So, for example, if you do fitness, then let's do some fitness videos and have
Right.
some, um, where we're doing meal preps and stuff, and doing subscriptions and building communities and stuff like that. And teaching other people how to build consulting on a personal brand level. Um, Now, the book, I didn't release it for a minute to where I put it on a platform because I just kind of created it and I was just giving it away. I had it like in the digital book first.
Okay.
And then people started reaching out to me and was like, "Yo, your book changed my life. I'm making like 10 grand a month, and hey, do you do private coaching sessions?" And they wanted
Mm.
more. They're like,
They
"I
wanted
read the
more.
book many times. Yeah, like what I do now. Like, how do I go to the next levels?" And that's when I started to open up myself as a brand therapist or a business coach.
Got it. Yeah. And so, but you have other books as well. I noticed you have some other books as well, right? Or just the only one
So
that
I
you wrote?
I I wrote 7 books, and it's so
Mhm.
funny because I like to say AI took me out of business, but it didn't because you got to give AI the prompt. So when I had my publishing book, I was ghostwriting books for influencers and celebrities. And I do have a book. Well, I had a credit book that I sold. I had a trucking book that I sold. I started. It's kind of like the music industry when you write songs and then you write it for yourself, but then when a bigger buyer want it, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Right.
oh,
Mhm.
hey, we're gonna buy this for Rihanna.
Right.
You
Right.
saw your rights to it and you can't talk about it no more. So I started pushing my books, but there's one book that I've been holding on to that's not released yet. It's called Energy Recipes Recharge Your Soul. And what that
Mm.
does, that's breaking down everything from a spiritual point on how to switch gears and vibrate higher to different frequencies. People think, depression or procrastination or just being sad or grief. Grief takes a year to get over. Like says who? No, it's all about switching gears. And when you decide, you know what, I don't want to feel like this no more. So the book has different recipes that you can do, kind of like a cookbook.
Got
Like,
it.
I want spaghetti today, or I want pasta. Let me get in here. Let me go to pasta. Out of all this pasta, what do I feel like eating? All right, I want to do spaghetti. All right, let me see. All right, what's the ingredients of spaghetti? So it teaches you multiple ways to change gears from a spiritual and energetic and a metaphysical aspect. So I use aromatherapy. I use sound healing. I
Mm,
break down. And I learned a lot too about my gift. I told you I was clairvoyant and intuitive and everything, and I
right.
had just learned a lot about just my gift and how favored I am to just have these gifts from God. And yeah, so the book is now that book is something else, and I'm gonna release it soon. I'm gonna release it
Yeah.
soon. I wrote it in
Mhm.
2020 though, so I need to. It's just so I keep adding to it because now we're in a world where saging is cool. It used to be a secret, and people are doing like their spiritual practices and their rituals, and
Right. Yes.
they're just kind of going ham, and they don't know what they're doing. And
Mhm.
it's like, okay, yeah, I got to teach these people the right way. Same thing in business. You got a lot of gurus and coaches, and if they don't know what they're doing, they're not even successful to be teaching
Right.
anybody anything.
Yeah.
Um,
Please school them.
yeah, so that's another reason why I said, you know what, I want to be back on the forefront. I've been seeing a lot of businesses, and I've been experiencing a lot of, businesses not me right as a customer. And it's like, these people need business development. They need to perfect their craft. They need to know, because if they know, they would do better, right? Or if they knew, they would do better. So that's kind of how I got here.
Okay. And it's working very well for you.